Are you okay, bro?
Oh, good. Oh, good. I thought like something was like bothering you or whatever. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel today, where I'll be discussing the topic of the dumb things managers say. But before we jump into things, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we have up and coming. What do I mean by the dumb things that managers say? Having a manager in your repertoire is a key business relationship that shouldn't be taken lightly. If you remember my video on having a manager or going out on things on your own, I know that I got a manager because I had specific results that I wanted to achieve. And as a result, it was important for me to have a manager that sort of had and shared the same values and was focused purely on the results. However, along the way, there are some things that certain people that call themselves managers say to you that you should just be alarmed at and run for the hills if you hear it very consistently. All right, so point number one, if they say pay the price now and succeed later, it sounds nice at the top at a very cursory level. You know, make investments, you know, work through things, push along. But if you've been in a certain relationship now in year 3 and you haven't attained any of the results that you both agreed to, it's now a point in time where you now need to say, okay, am I really doing enough here? And what is the manager doing here? Are they just trying to keep things alive in the business relationship? Because you only have to pay so much for so long until you start holding people accountable to the results. And if you're not seeing the results, it's time to move on. All right, point number 2 is do this thing for my friend and I promise you will see blah, 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 blah. And I've actually been a victim of this one. It's very important that when your manager approaches you with a particular business relationship, and if you discover that they are friends in the background, you need to discuss and have a very factual reality check with yourself in terms of if there are problems in their relationship, how will this impact me? For me, it was a relationship dealing with a booking agency perspective where I wasn't getting paid on time, and because they were friends, it was much harder for them to have those difficult business-related discussions. And unfortunately for me, I was the guy who was continuing to be impacted as a result. So be sure to check out for that. If there is a friendship involved, be able to evaluate how that will impact you in the end. And point number 3, I've heard this a few times and I've obviously ignored it, which is you never want to be the bad guy. Don't ruffle people's feathers, which I think is probably good up to a certain point, but there are times when you need to be able to call out bullshit in certain relationships. And if your manager is unable to do that, then you need to be the person that steps up and demands that it happens. I can't tell you countless times in different negotiations I've been involved in where I knew the deal was bad and I knew things needed to change, and certain managers do not want to ruffle the feathers for various different reasons. And when those various different reasons don't involve what is best for you as the artist, that's when you need to be the bad guy. And point number 4, you won't see this opportunity ever again if you walk away from this particular deal. And I've got to say to you, there could be nothing further from the truth, because the reality is that no one really knows what will happen in the future. You can't necessarily predict it. But what I'm saying to you here as an artist, you should respect yourself enough and your artistry to be able to trust your intuition. And sometimes it means that you got to walk away from deals that are bad, because every time I've done this for myself in particular, what has been around the other corner has been substantially much better for me, a huger opportunity, and it continues to pay dividends to me in the future. So when you hear this, run away. And point number 5, this is my all-time best one because I've heard so many quote-unquote managers say this whenever there is a disagreement or there's something a little bit sensitive, which is just keep your head down and put the work in. Well, keeping your head down and putting the work in is de facto, in my point of view. That's all I do, and that's why I have the number of releases and quality that I continue to push out on a consistent basis. And I'm not being egotistical here. I'm just saying, as an artist, I'm very well aware of how hard I'm working. So when someone tells you to put your head down in the sand, not be aware of what is going on around you, and not having an opinion, is something you should be very concerned about. Rather, what should be happening in that relationship is the manager and you as the artist should be having a discussion as to what would be the right middle ground if there's something infracting on your values, or if there's something impacting the way you want to go about doing things. So have that discussion. If you keep hearing this all the time, then you need to reevaluate your relationship. And there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the dumb things that managers say. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I usually join the conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos. Much love and respect to you. Peace.